Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Saturday hangout. Except it's not Saturday, it's actually Friday the 12th. I'm doing this today because we've got guests coming this weekend and it would be rather rude of me to ensconce myself up here to do an art journal project when we've got guests. So, sorry. So Friday stroke Saturday hangout with Mike. So what I want to do today is I want to use the second set of Zetiology birds that I created a while ago. I did an art journal page with one set. I think it was for the Artsy Trio mood board number, I don't know, maybe last month before, can't remember. But I only used half the set because there was two Zetiology birds within the Digi-Download set. And I only used the first one. I didn't use the second one, so I want to use those in a project today. But what I also want to do is I want to use some of my new kind of mummigami style backgrounds that I created in this journal the last couple of, like you saw, the last couple of weeks. What I've done with this is I've actually scanned the pages because I really like the kind of stuck down collage kind of effect you get. So what I've done is I've scanned it and created some digis out of the pages. So even after I've covered these pages up, once I've used them, I will always have a copy of those pages within the journal for future use. So, and I've done two, I've printed two off already. And I want to use those in the background of the Zetiology bird. So let me shift over to my desk over there. It's all warmed up, the lights have been on for a little while, so we should be up to temperature. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. These are the pages from, or the two pages that I didn't use from the last set. So as you can see, you've got the full composite bird with the hat on, including those stripy stockings, which is fabulous. And then there's all the bits to actually recreate it, so you can move the wings yourself and do that kind of stuff. So there's the options of creating your own pose, if you like, or just cutting it straight from the sheet and doing it. So we've got some border pieces on this one as well. There's some random numbers to go on, but there's also a choice of quotes for it also. So those are those. Those were the two sheets of the scans from the Mummigami journal that I showed you earlier. So these will go into the background. I'll probably end up cutting a little bit of this off and then just putting it up here into fragments. But it looks good and it will go well with these papers as well. So colour wise, paint wise, I've dug out my indigo blue paint collection. So originally when they did the paint, they did them in these larger pots, these 60mm pots. And they just last forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So instead, they then, with feedback from the customers, they reduced the size of the paint pot down to the 20mm. And these still last for ages because they're really highly pigmented and you can, just a little goes such a long way. And obviously they're a bit cheaper. So they now come in these 20mm pots rather than the 60mm pots. And like I said, I don't use a lot of paints. I've got three different types of paint. I've got the Dina Wakley paints, I've got some Deco Americana paint, and I've got these. And I don't think I've bought any paint for the last 2 years, or 3 years even. I think I bought some when I first moved into this house, so that's over 3 years ago, and I'm still using the same paint, so I don't use a lot. So being able to buy small pots of paint like this that go a long way is a bonus, because they also don't take up a lot of room, which means you can get more colours in a smaller space, in a small space for storage. I mean, look how many different colours you can get in just such a small space. And this is only a, what, half A4, so an A5 size, so this is like almost half a page of 8.5 by 11 if you're, you know, using old measurements. But yeah, so, and I also like to keep them upside down so I can see the colours. So I've got yellow, daffodil. Daffodil yellow. Burning bonfire. But I've also got a smaller version of that. I want peppermint tea, which is that lovely greeny colour. Townhouse teal. And I also want a purpley colour, just to use sparingly. And this is called Wimberry Pie. So those are the colours that I'm going to be using in the background of my page, as well as some white gesso. Just happens to also be indigo blue white gesso. So they do everything. I know, it's great. So daffodil, that's translucent. Wimberry Pie is matte. Townhouse teal is matte. Burning bonfire is also matte, and so is peppermint tea. I just love that combination of the teal, that kind of, I would say almost sagey green, and the orange. I love that combo. And then I've got those two just to kind of give a bit of life into the background. And put those paints to one side. Right, so the other thing I need to do before we get started is get some water, because I think I'm nearly... No, I think there's enough in there. There's enough in there. Right, okay. So, first things first, I need to cut out all my component bits from these sheets. So, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go away and cut all those. Oh, I'm using my 12 by 12 scrapbook journal for this. This is what I normally do my Artsy Trio collaborations in, but just occasionally I want something with a little bit of a larger format than the Dina Wakeley one, which I'm almost running out of pages on. I've been saying I'm on practically the last page for absolutely ever, but it just keeps going and going and going. Right, move those out of the way. Get my cutting mat. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to just cut these out, and I've got a brand new scalpel blade, so I just need to be very careful not to slip, because I don't want to end up in hospital. Thank you. Right, so I'll cut these out and I'll be right back. Okay, I think that's just about everything that I'm going to need for creating my little page. So there we go. So let's just move that all to one side over there. Bring my journal back in, and then I can start gluing and sticking everything down. Right, so I'm going to stick all this down with matte medium. give it a squeeze. Right, I don't mind there being a few wrinkles and bumps. It just all adds to the great texture that you get for your art journal page. And I'm not going to put any on the back. I'm just going to go straight in. No, you see, I shouldn't have done that, should I? First rookie mistake of the day. So this is going to be drying really, really quickly today because we're having another one of those freak to the UK heat waves. So temperatures bordering on 80 and so today again. That's what I wanted. Duh. So if you're wondering what I printed these images onto, just bog standard printer paper, nothing fancy. Just ordinary printer, office printer paper weight. Here in the UK it's 80 GSM. I'm not sure what that is in poundage. Okay. See, now that's down, it just looks as though I've actually stuck down loads of other bits, doesn't it? Right, so let's just kind of tear these fragments up. Again. And I'll just start doing the same thing to the background on that up here. Because although these are already fragments, printed fragments of larger fragments, there's not going to be enough to cover the entire area for both of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cheat a little bit, but only a little bit. And the way I'm going to do that is, when I was creating these original Momigami pages, I didn't throw any of the paper away. I kept it all here. So I've still got loads of fragments that I can use just to fill in the gaps, which is what I'm going to do. So not really cheating, but yeah, it is cheating. But not really. But yeah, but no. I could have done the entire page like this, but it would have taken forever. And like I said, I've got guests coming this afternoon, so I need to get... I haven't really got as much time to spend up here as I really would like to today. So I'm going to take what I can. It's a nice piece of yellow in that corner there. And then we'll just infill with a few other bits. A bit of green. And I think we'll just put a little bit of black and red up there, just to kind of blend everything in. Now, I think I'm happy with that, actually. See, anybody would think that I'd spent ages gluing all those fragments down, when in fact I haven't. Okay, so the background is now completely dry, and you would think, wouldn't you, that I had spent ages. So like I said, I photographed all of the pages in the Mumigami journal. They're sufficient quality that you can actually enlarge them up to 12x12 if you've got a 12x12 printer. I will be making them, the scans of these pages, I will be making them available as a digi-download set, an 8-page set in the next week or so. There'll be 8 of the pages, and there'll be 8x8s, but like I said, there'll be 300 dpi, which means you should theoretically be able to print them at 12x12 if you've got the facility to, without too much loss, and without them being too pixelated. They won't be that pixelated. Right, so that's the background there. So what I want to do now is just give it a light kind of gesso coat, a light white gesso coat, and it will look, for all intents and purposes, like I'm covering the whole thing up, but as gesso dries you will see what's underneath. And all it's doing is just knocking that kind of heavy imagery into the background. It's going to take not a lot of time today for this to dry, because like I said, it's so warm here. Because we've used matte medium over the page to seal it down and glue everything in, it means it has also created a little bit of a barrier between the gesso and that matte medium. So we should theoretically, once this is dry, which is not taking long, because I can tell straight away as I'm going down, as I'm painting over, it really is drying quickly. But what we can do is just take a wet wipe if you wanted to, and if there was some particular wordage, like that love there, and maybe a little bit over here, you see how it's just lifting a little bit slightly, just to make it a bit more prominent. Okay, so while that's doing that, while it's still kind of wet, I'm going to start throwing down some other colours. So I'm going to be using the Townhouse Teal next. It's a beautiful colour, love it. And I'm going really lightly, just to kind of give it just a hint in the background. I don't want to lose everything that's in there, as in the papers that will glue down. But I still want to give it a little bit of a colour background. Alright, so that's the Townhouse Teal. I'm going to leave them open, because I will keep dipping back in and out again. And let's grab that peppermint tea, which looks as though it hasn't never been opened. New pot, yay! So just grab some from there. So we'll start down here. Just blend that green in with the blue. Love the way it does this. It just allows you to blend almost seamlessly. There we go. Look at that. Oh. Gorgeous. Very happy with that. Let's just have a little bit of that green over in that top corner there, just because. Okay, so we've got the green, and now I want to bring in a little bit of that burning bonfire orange, just a small amount, just a little. And really it's just to add a little bit of warmth, because the blues and the greens can be a little bit cold. And you don't need, like I said, a huge amount of this paint because it's so pigment rich. Right, let's grab that green again. Just bring some of that green back. It just dulls it all down. Just a little, just helps to blend. And then we'll grab the blue, which will turn into green because of the yellow or the orange, or the yellow and the orange. And it just really will help just to kind of like unify everything together. And just a teeny bit. There's not a lot going down in this corner, is there? There we go. But you can see the lettering and the texture of those backgrounds are staying. You can see through the paint. Okay, so will I need any more of that yellow? Let's just have a little look. So this is that looks like it was a new one as well. Even though it's an old pot, looks like I've never opened it. I'm just going to get a bit more of the white and just tone that down a little. So now I can come back in with the white gesso. And it just helps to subdue it's easy to add paint than it is to take it away. Do you know what? I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to add any more colour to that. I think that's going to be enough. Once we start adding the collage elements on top of this, they will just kind of seamlessly blend in. And if they don't seamlessly blend in, we can help them along. Okay, so let me get this dry, tidied. Okay, so first things first, let's do some of these bobbly borders. So we'll stick one down there, one up there. I'm just going to tear them in half, like so, and then we can take these kind of strips and add those underneath, so that'll go in there. So let's get these stuck down first. So they can just go straight down. elixir. There we go. And then we'll take that strip out there. I've just thrown that other one on the floor, so let's just measure it up about there. So just where the crossway started. You can tell it's warm today because Mr. Bentley's actually laid out on the landing outside my door here. He doesn't even want to go outside today, it's that warm. Bless him. I had to physically stop him from going out in the garden yesterday when the temperature was at its highest, about 3 o'clock. Right, okay, so we've got a couple of little bits that I can maybe add just down there. Just to balance off down there. I don't think there was enough left of that other one. Right, so the next thing I want then is the legs. So I need to just position the birdie's feet so I can position where the legs are going to go. And then I just need to work out where the body is. That's fine. Okay, so those legs are going to be okay to go there. The beauty of these ones is that you can put the legs down first if you want, and then you can decide how long you want them afterwards. Maybe a bit closer together. Come on. There we go. Alright, so let's get that first boot down. So I can stick the first boot on there. I love these things. Right, there's the other one. I thought I'd lost that one then. Yeah, I see now Mr. Bentley's now wanting to go into the bedroom. No, come on darling. Right, so I can make the body about there and then attach the head. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Alright, so before I do that, I have to decide about the wings. Do I want the wing to be up so it looks like it's up? Yeah, that'll do. I kind of like that. Right, so forward planning. Forward planning. About there. And then we can get the body down. So the body can go about there. All good stuff. And then we get the other wing, which we'll put about there. And then there's a little bit of a heart that we could just put maybe there. Okay, now the head. Love doing collage like this. And then we've got the at, and that fits just nicely like so. Okay, so I've got the little skirt that goes on the bottom, just to kind of finish off. And then we can just stick maybe a couple of these. I think we'll just add maybe one just there, just to kind of add a little bit to the border. It doesn't have to be, you know, all fancy. Right, so scissors. Because I think it might be just a little bit too thick. So I'm just going to take a little bit off the top. Trim some off the edge. And then just to make it a bit thinner. The option to have it thicker is there. You can just leave it as it is on the sheet if you want to, or you can trim it down. Now I'm going to do this in 2 pieces, like that. So I will put that over this side, I think. So one there, and then we'll just add that underneath, like so. Okay, so that's all of my little collage pieces all stuck down. What I need to do now is clean the brush off, get this dry, and then we can start adding the finishing touches. Oh, lovely. Thank you. That Ian's a good lad, bringing me a nice cup of coffee, even though it's absolutely roasting outside. Bless him. Right. Okay, so that is pretty much dry. So what I want to do, obviously, it needs a little bit lifting. So I never used the purple in the end. See, my inbuilt prejudice against purple has kicked in. It's now doing it subconsciously. Right, so let's grab some white, because obviously I've got to do splatters. It's the law. And where's my water bottle gone? I've just knocked it over. Okay. That'll do. Of course, I've got splatters everywhere. Okay, so the last thing that I want to do is just give it another little bit of a lift. So I'm going to go back to that daffodil yellow, and I'm going to just take a little bit of it on my brush, and I've got a piece of bubble wrap, and I'm just going to paint a little bit on the bubble wrap, and I'm just going to drop it just so it gives you a little hint, but it's not quite as stark as the white would be. Just add a little bit up there. Okay, so we've got that, And then, now that we've got the white, the yellow down, I am going to come in with just a tiny, tiny touch of the white, and I'm going to kind of ghost over the top. I've made it a lot lighter. So I've turned it into a real kind of pale lemon yellow. And then I'm just going to kind of go down and offset a little bit and then just pull again. Do the same thing again on this one. Pull again. And then the same thing again over the top. One application. And that'll do. Okay, and now that yellow and the white gesso bubble wrap has kind of dried, I just want to bring back some dark into the background. So I've just got my black gesso, and I'm just going to take a little lid and then I'm just going to lightly just do a little bit of mark making, just really, really light. Just barely kissing the page, and it just helps. There we go, and that's it. I'm gonna call that done. There we go, quick clean up. And then I can just wipe the lid that I've used, and that can go back in the water. It's 1 minute to lose it. But you could do whatever mark making you wanted to on that. You could even add some more black splatters if you wanted to in the background. I'm not going to do that because I think it's alright as it is. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign and date it. So what date is it today? It's the 12th today of August 22. There we go. So my Friday, Saturday hangout. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create that art journal page today. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up because it really does help. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.